Confidence versus arrogance. A weird barrier that people have to becoming brave is they're worried about being too confident. They're worried about straying into the realm of what we call arrogance. And that actually stops them from developing any kind of courage or any kind of self-belief because they think any kind of backing myself and going for it and upsetting other people is arrogance. You gotta understand, this is just the fear of social judgment disguising itself as some noble attempt at humility. When you say, look, I'm not going to be confident because I'm a good person, what you're really saying is, I'm terrified of what people think of me. And that's all you're saying. Arrogance is not confidence. Arrogance is a manifestation of the fear of being wrong. Confident people are okay with being wrong. Arrogant people are not. It's this distinguishing difference. Arrogance can look like confidence, but really it's just domination, aggression. It's a kind of fight. Confidence, you're not trying to dominate or be aggressive or try to fight anybody. Arrogance is thinking that you're better than somebody else. Confidence, you don't even compare to other people. Other people are their own business. It doesn't matter. When you're confident, you're measuring yourself based on your own core values and your behavioral alignment with those values. Other people are irrelevant. Arrogance, you're measuring yourself on status and dominance, and it's always about comparison and domination of other people. Arrogance might look like fearlessness, but it's actually a state of deep insecurity. All right, it's a state of permanent fear. You get actually like arrogant personality disorders, things like narcissistic personality disorder, some cases of borderline, where they're actually at such a constant state of fear that their fear reaction is their personality. Arrogance is a defense mechanism against the fear that you are actually worthless, that toxic shame that there's something wrong with you and that you're less than everybody else. Arrogance is a coping mechanism for that. So that I never have to face the fear that I'm worthless, I'll pretend that I'm worth more. Arrogance is a fragile ego identity. It's this thing where I must be seen as this or otherwise my whole world collapses. Whereas confidence is I see me however you want to see me. I've got my own view of myself that I have to earn with my behavior. And if you still think I'm a dick after that, so be it. You go ahead and think that because it's not a relevant measurement. You can see evidence when an arrogant person is challenged. They often become vicious, especially if you touch their sore spot. They will try to destroy the enemy rather than open themselves up humbly to the idea that they might be wrong or that they've got more to learn or that somebody else has a better idea than what they have, and so on. People worry that standing up for yourself is arrogance, but it's only arrogance if you refuse to back down when somebody has a better argument. Right? Standing up for yourself is confidence. It becomes arrogance when you hold that position regardless of the information you're receiving. Confident person will say, I believe this. Somebody else say, what about that? And you'll be like, fuck, that's a good point. Actually, I've changed my mind. Right? When arrogance is like, no, fuck you. I'm the one who's right. It's a completely different approach. When you argue with an arrogant person, they'll try to take you down rather than actually win the debate on merit. Right? They will attack you personally, that ad hominem attack. They won't admit to being wrong. They never want to lose face. They would rather die on the hill that's wrong than admit to it. They also choose their competition wisely. They only compete where they can win. You can see this in martial arts. The arrogant person will deliberately pick the person whose ass they're going to kick and choose their fights carefully so that they have an immaculate record. Whereas the confident person will be like, who's the toughest guy who's probably going to beat me because I need to learn some shit. Arrogant people lack humility and respect. Right? They have no problem being inconsiderate towards others and harmful to others in the way that they do things. And this is more than just confidence. It's aggression. They will actively harm people where it's not necessary in order for the person to achieve their goals. They would rather destroy than cooperate. Confident people with high bravery are basically the opposite of arrogant. They respect others' opinions and they're open to having their mind changed as long as there's greater evidence and it's a better argument. People often think that being confident is being certain, being sure of yourself. No, it's backing yourself, but being totally open to the idea that you're probably wrong about everything. It's Socratic. You think the only thing I know for sure is that I know nothing for sure. So I'm always open to better ideas, but they need to be better ideas. I'm not just going to accept it because you disagree with me. Prove me wrong, and then I'll change my mind. Confident people are humble about whatever lack they have in skills or knowledge. They have no shame admitting to their limitations. But at the same time, they're not going to apologize for who they are. They're not going to apologize for their natural state. A white belt in jiu-jitsu who's confident is not going to apologize for being a white belt. They're like, well, this is as far as I got so far, of course. right? I've been in this for 3 months. What the fuck do you think I'm going to be? They're just going to be whatever they are, and they'll accept their limitations, but they're always trying to push. They're always trying to improve themselves, right? They're always building. So they're humble, but not afraid of growth. That's what bravery really is, yeah, I kind of suck at this, but I'm going to keep working at it. I'm not going to apologize for sucking. This is the amount I'm going to be good at it with this much practice. What did you fucking think was going to happen? They compete against tough opponents. They're looking to be the small fish in the big pond rather than the other way around. They'd rather withdraw, take it easy, than squash a lesser opponent. Again, I like to use the jiu-jitsu example. I see the really confident purple belts will actually moderate how hard they go against a lesser belt to give that person a chance to learn some stuff. Whereas, say, an arrogant blue belt will just smash you and pin you and not give you a chance to even breathe because he's more worried about winning than he is about participating in some sort of cooperative way. Confident people understand respect, live and let live. As long as you don't harm me and my loved ones, I'm going to let you do whatever it is that you need to do. I'm not going to tell you how to live. I'm not going to try and dominate you. I'll be assertive, which means I won't let you cross my boundaries, but I won't be aggressive. I'm not going to cross your boundaries either. So being assertive, being brave in that way, means just holding the fort and not letting anyone harm you. Trying to control how other people live is aggression, and that's what arrogant people do. It's not the same as confident at all. And as I said earlier, confident people measure their behavior only against their own core values. Other people's behavior might be an inspiration and say, oh, that's a good idea, I'll try that. Or a lesson, like, oh, that worked out pretty badly, I'm not going to do that. But it's not a measurement system. It's not like, oh, I'm better than that person or worse than that person. The confident people have their own system of measurement of what's good behavior based on their life experience and their core values and their moral code. And that's what they're measuring against. Whether or not you make more money than them, they don't give a fuck. You can't be too brave or too confident or too shameless. Okay. Arrogance is none of those things. Confidence is not competence. Okay. It's not being good at something. You're allowed to be humble when you're confident. Right? You can say, I don't know. It's actually a very confident thing to say, especially in this day and age where everybody's a fucking expert on everything, right? To say, actually, I'm not an expert in shit. That's a confident thing to say. It's arrogant to say, I know everything. So keep working on your bravery. Keep becoming more assertive. As long as you're not aggressive, as long as you're only measuring your own core values and not trying to hurt others, as long as you consider how your behavior impacts others and make adjustments where it doesn't compromise your values, that you don't need to worry about being an arrogant person. Even if other people call you that and they have a problem with what you're doing, just revert back to your core values. Am I aligned with that? Good. Okay. And you can shut the fuck up. And if you want help to become more confident without becoming arrogant, get in touch, dan@brojo.org, and we'll talk through some ideas.